Hello, welcome to Screen Talk with yours truly, Nomfanelo Malloy. So earlier today, the nominations for the 2026 Grammy Awards were announced online on YouTube and on the Grammys website. Now, I was originally going to watch it live at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, but I accidentally forgot it was announced today because I was so preoccupied with my podcast, rediscovered movies, and all that stuff. So I didn't realize that until later when I opened Twitter that those were already announced. But regardless of that, I managed to watch the ceremony on YouTube. And as for the ceremony itself, I mean, it's no different than the past couple of ceremonies. The way that they announced the Grammy Awards, in terms of like the presenters doing this pre-recorded message, and then the announcer essentially listing the nominations, not for all of the categories, but for I would say the major ones. And I don't know how to feel about that because at least with the Emmy Awards, now with the Emmy Awards, they don't list every single category, but at least you have the presenters announcing it live at a studio at a venue wherever they film it. But here with the Grammys, I don't know. I just didn't get why they couldn't just announce it live at a venue. But anyways, regardless of that, and I do want to note that there were some moments I found were hilarious. Because I think a few of the presenters, so there's like Sabrina Carpenter was one of them, and Dochi. It was interesting that they announced nominees for their respective genres. So with Sabrina Carpenter was in the pop category, Dochi was in the like rap categories, and it's funny that after when they announced it, the announcer makes announces the nominees and like they're included. So I found that was a bit awkward there. But regardless, let's check out who got nominated here as soon as I share my screen. All right, so let's start with the general field first. So, record of the year. So, this is referring to like the production of the song. So, it goes to the artists, producers, record engineers, mixers, and mastering engineers. So, the nominees are DTMF Bad Bunny, Manchild by Sabrina Carpenter, Anxiety by Doechii, Wildflower by Billie Eilish, Abracadabra by Lady Gaga, Luther by Kendrick Lamar and SZA, The Subway by Chappell Roan, and Apathy by Rose and Bruno Mars. Now I know most of the songs. I'm not familiar with Bad Bunny. I don't remember if the Billie Eilish one was from the previous record that she released last year. And the Subway by Chapel, I've not heard that one, but the rest of them, I'm quite familiar with them. And I find, yeah, this is interesting here. So I'm gonna do my predictions for the Grammys in January. So I'll probably go in depth like who I think will win and who should win in my opinion. But yeah, as for this crop of nominees, I say it's not bad. It's not bad here. And then we have album of the year. So nominees are I cannot pronounce that word, so I'm just gonna say DTMF by Bad Bunny, Swag by Justin Bieber, Man's Best Friend by Sabrina Carpenter, Let God Sort 'Em Out by Clips, Pusha T and Malice, Mayhem by Lady Gaga, GNX by Kendrick Lamar, Mutt by Leon Thomas, and Chromocopia by Tyler the Creator. So I think out of the nominees here, I was surprised with Justin Bieber. I've not listened to that album personally, but I've heard a lot of mixed responses with that one. Also, too, we have more hip hop albums on here because I wonder if that's reflective of the year itself and all that stuff. But But yeah, this is quite interesting here. I think it's possible that one of those hip hop albums is going to win. Now, it's probably too early to say this, but I have a feeling that maybe two out of the three of those rap albums has a shot at winning here. But I think anything can happen at this point. Okay, and then we have Song of the Year. So we have Abracadabra by Lady Gaga, Anxiety by Doechii, Apathy, Rose and Bruno Mars, DTMF by Bad Bunny, Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. This one I was so proud. I'm really proud that got nominated. Luther by Kendrick and SZA, Manchild by Sabrina Carpenter, and Wildflower by Billie Eilish. This is interesting. Really thrilled for the golden nominations with K-pop Demon Hunters. Really love that song, and just the way that with that film and the music took off. It's amazing to see. Uh, let's go on to Best New Artist. So we have Olivia Dean, Cat's Eye, The Marias, Addison Rae, Somber, Leon Thomas, Alex Warren, and Lola Young. So I'm not familiar with any of these artists, but the names do sound familiar. I kept seeing Olivia Dean's name pop up recently. Cat's Eye, because I saw like with the Gap commercial that they did, that was brilliant with Khalees's song "Milkshake" in the background. That was nice. Addison Rae, I think is she one of those like TikTok stars now? She's doing music, I believe. But the rest, yeah, the names sound familiar, but I'm not familiar with the music themselves. So good on them. And then producer of the year, non-classical. So we have Dan Au- Auerbach, if I'm pronouncing that name right. I guess song artists of note. So we have the Black Keys, Moonrisers, Hermanos Gutierrez featuring Leon Bridges. And then we have Circuit, who worked on a lot of Lady Gaga stuff. I see Rose, Bruno Mars, Coco Jones, Jade, Ed Sheeran, and The Weeknd. And we have Dijon, who's worked on his own stuff, a lot of and Bieber stuff. Blake Mills, who's worked on stuff for Japanese Breakfast. Lucy Dacus, Perfume Genius, and Pino Palladino and Blake Mills. And Soundwave, who worked on the GNX album, Kendrick Lamar. This is interesting. So I think anything can happen here. Because maybe Soundwave has a shot because he only worked on the GNX album, but maybe also do that could be a negative because at least the other nominees have more bodies of work here that's being recognized. Well, his is just limited to that album. But hey, anything can happen. Anything can happen. And then we have Songwriter of the Year, non-classical. So we have Amy Allen, who has worked on the Apate song, stuff for Shabuzi. I see Jenny with Dua Lipa, Tate McRae, Sabrina Carpenter, Edgar Barrera, who's worked on a lot of stuff for Carol G. I see Shakira, Juanes, who else? Santana, Grupo Frontera. So a lot of the Latin music. We have Jesse Joe Dillon, who has worked on stuff for Megan Moroney, Jelly Roll, Kelsey Ballerini. Looks like a lot of country stuff. I see Morgan Wallen here. And we have Tobias Jesso Jr., who's worked on stuff for Dijon, Justin Bieber. I see Miley Cyrus, Olivia Dean, Ham, and Laura Veltes, who has worked on stuff for Jesse Murph, Maura Morris, um, Lauren Spencer Smith, and Demi Lovato. Interesting there. I think anything can happen with this one as well. So let's see, pop and dance electronic. So we have pop solo performance. We have Bieber with Daisies, Manchild by Sabrina, Disease by Lady Gaga, The Subway by Chappell Brown, and Messy by Lola Young. Interesting. For pop duo slash group performance, we have Defying Gravity by Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. That's by Huntrix, Ejai, Audrey Nuna, and Ray Ami. Gabriella by Cat's Eye. Apate by Rose and Bruno Mars. And 30 for 30 by SZA featuring Kendrick Lamar. Interesting. Pop vocal album. We have Swag by Bieber. Manchild by Sabrina Carpenter. Miley Cyrus, Something Beautiful. Mayhem by Lady Gaga. And I've Tried Everything But Therapy Part 2 by Teddy Swims. Interesting. Yeah, glad Miley Cyrus at least gets recognized for that album. I would say with that album is one of my favorite albums that has came out this year thus far. I see what Golden is nominated here for remix recording with David Guetta. Interesting. The rock ones I am going to skip, but congratulations to the nominees. Alternative. Oh, Tyler the Creator for Don't Tap the Glass. Now, I did not listen to that album. I only listened to that one song that had LeBron James and Maverick in the music video. So I'm kind of surprised it's nominated for alternative music. But again, I probably need to listen to the full album. But okay. All right, we're getting into rap now. I think rap this year is quite interesting. I think it's going to be very competitive with rap. So for rap performance, we have Outside by Cardi B, Chains and Whips by Clips, featuring Kendrick Lamar and Pharrell, Anxiety by Doechii, TV Off by Kendrick featuring Lefty Gunplay, and Darling I by Tyler the Creator featuring Tizo Touchdown. Because I think for the rap categories, it's going to be between, I would say, Kendrick and Clips. Because I believe, yeah, because Kendrick is featured on Clips' album, yeah, with Chains and Whips. So even if, let's say, Kendrick did not win for rap album, he might win with Clips. Because I'm assuming, because I know for the main album category, if you're a featured artists, you do win along with the main artist, I believe, for album. I don't know if that's applied for the specific genres. I mean, because if that's the case, then yeah, then he'll win for the Clips' album. If not, then oh well. But yeah, I think it's gonna be quite competitive with rap, I would say. So for melodic rap performance, we have Proud of Me by Friday featuring Meek Mill, Wholeheartedly by Jid featuring Ty Dollar Sign and Six Lack, Luther, Kendrick Lamar and SZA, We Mage by Terrace Martin and Kenyon Dixon featuring Rhapsody, and Somebody Loves Me by Party Next Door and Drake. I think Luther could take this category, but again, I need to listen to all of the other tracks for this one. Rap songs, so we have Anxiety by Doechii, Birds Don't Sing by Clips featuring John Legend and Voices of Fire, Sticky by Tyler the Creator featuring Glorilla, Sexy Red, and Lil Wayne, TGIF by Glorilla, and TV Off by Kendrick Lamar featuring Lefty Gunplay. This is going to be interesting. Interesting. And then rap album, we have Let God Sort 'Em Out by Clips, Glorious by Glorilla, God Does Like Ugly by Jid, GNX by Kendrick Lamar, and Chromocopia by Tyler the Creator. So yeah, I think it's gonna be very competitive with the rap categories here. I see Jennifer Hudson's nominated for the Gift of Love for a traditional pop vocal album, and Lady Gaga is also nominated here too for Harlequin, because that album wasn't that bad, but it seems like it's pretty forgettable because with the tie-in with the Joker 2 movie and doing poorly and all that stuff, but the album itself is not bad. So we no longer have country album. It's split into two, I believe, traditional country album, and then we have contemporary country music album. I don't get why the split. I hear people say they've been wanting to do that for quite some time, while others say because with Beyonce winning for Cowboy Carter is why they decided to split it. But either way, it's a choice. The American Roots performing. Oh, John Batiste nominated for Lonely Avenue. I really like that song. That's one of my favorite songs off of his latest album, Big Money. So good on him for that. And I see He's nominated for American Roots Song for Big Money because that's catchy. Like I'm glad, yeah, he gets something there. And he's also nominated for Best Americana Album. Interesting for Big Money. So good on him for that. I thought he would have shown up a bit more here with John Batiste with that album, but yeah, regardless, good for him with that one. All right, compilation soundtrack for visual media. So we have Timothy Chalamet got nominated for a Complete Unknown. We have the F1 album, K-pop Demon Hunters, Sinners, and Wicked. This is going to be quite competitive. So I think maybe Timothy Chalamet may have a shot because unlike the other nominees here, at least he's the lone, major artist that's nominated for that album. But I don't know if that's going to happen here. I think it's going to be between K-pop Demon Hunters and Sinners is my guess there. So I think one of those two most likely will win here. And then we have score soundtrack for visual media. So we have How to Train Your Dragon, Severance, Sinners, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. Interesting. I think maybe Sinners has a good shot here. Plus, also to have Ludwig Göransson, he's no stranger to the Grammy Awards. So, or maybe they could give Severance something here too for season two. Maybe one of those two for now. But yeah, that would be my guesses right now. Song written for visual media. So we have from Tron Ares, As Alive as You Need Me to Be. We have Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. I Lie to You from Sinners. Never Too Late from Elton John. Never Too Late. Pale, Pale Moon from Sinners. And Sinners from Sinners. So Sinners has three songs nominated here. And as I've done predictions before, two things can happen. Like either like one of those choices can pull through to prevail, or because if let's say they can't come up with a consensus, they could cancel each other out, and something else may rise to the occasion. So we'll see what happens here. But I would say probably Golden has a good shot simply because it's nominated in the general field categories. It is why I think it has a better shot in my opinion. But yeah, again, it's early. Anything can happen. And then best music video. So we have Man Child by Sabrina Carpenter. So Be It by Clips, Anxiety by Dochi, Love by OK Go, and Young Line by Sade. And I'll be honest, I thought Kendrick Lamar would have been nominated for Luther because I enjoyed that video, but it did not get nominated. I would have loved to see Big Money John Batiste with that video. I really loved that video, but that didn't get nominated here. Because I've only seen two. I've only seen the Man Child and Anxiety ones. I have not seen the videos for the other ones, but yeah, these are quite interesting. And then we have Best Music Film. So we have Devo. We have Ray. Glad, yeah, she gets nominated here for Live at the Royal Albert Hall. Relentless by Dan Warren. John Williams. And Piece by Piece. I really love Piece by Piece. That was one of my favorite movies that came out last year. Really loved that one. I would love for that one to win. And I think that's all I wanted to cover. But if you want to look at the list of the categories, it's on the website. I'll leave the link in the description. So, of course, with the nominees being out here, we need to talk about the snubs and surprises. So I'm going to go on Billboard's website here as they talk about this. And I'm sure you'll find versions of this on different outlets. So the snub, they include The Weekend because he had the album Hurry Up Tomorrow. Now, I did not listen to that album. I don't know how it did in terms of reception, but I remember that because it was tied to the film that came out that was with Jenna Ortega and Barry Keoghan, because that movie failed. Because I wonder if that could be partly why it got snubbed. I'm sure some will say because with his history with the Grammys and all that stuff, but yeah, I don't not know. Tyler the Creator's a surprise. I don't know, like if he was a surprise. I wasn't surprised though. Like I think for Cornucopia to be nominated, I wasn't surprised. But I think for the Don't Tap the Glass, as they've said here, yeah, that was a surprise. But for the alternative categories, again, I have not listened to the album, but I thought it'd be nominated for the rap category. But okay. Bieber, yeah, I was surprised with Bieber. Again, I have not listened to this album. Maybe it's decent, but I've heard a lot of mixed responses with that one. Uh, wow, it says snub amid much good news, Jack Antonoff. It says here it was a shock last year when he wasn't nominated for Producer of the Year, non-classical. Surely he returned to the finals this year. Many figured, nope, he was passed over. He had seven nominations, a total topped only by Kendrick. Antonov had two nods each in album, record, and song. This brings his career total song of the year nods to eight, matching his frequent collaborator Taylor Swift for much nods in history of the category. So the Grammys, like him, just not so much in producer of the year non-classical the last couple of years for whatever reason. Maybe I don't know. Maybe like he got snubbed because maybe they wanted different people to be selected. Again, who knows? But yeah, it happens. I want to add as a snub Alessia Cara for Love and Hyperbole. I thought at least that would get nominated for the pop categories, but that didn't happen because that album came out back in February. I would say it's one of my favorite albums that came out this year. I don't know, maybe because she just released a deluxe version of the album. Maybe that could be nominated for next year. But yeah, I'm surprised she got snubbed. And I think that's all I had on the top of mind in terms of snubs, in my opinion. But yeah. Oh, also too, I saw Lord. Lord apparently got snubbed because she had an album that came out back in June. But no, I don't know. Cause I do wonder too. Because I hear that the artists have to make the submissions. If they don't submit, then most likely will not get nominated. So again, I don't know like what happened on that front. So yeah, unfortunately, this stuff happened. So the Grammys, it's going to air on February 1st, I believe, on CBS and Paramount Plus. I imagine Canada it's going to be on City TV as always. I want to know what are your thoughts on all like the nominations. So like, which ones are you excited about? Were there any snubs or any surprises? Let me know in the comments section. So if you want to support me, you can visit buymeacoffee.com/Numphy Malloy, where you could donate and look at exclusive posts there. Also, too, I do have a community tab on YouTube. So if you subscribed to the channel, feel free to leave comments there as long as it's under YouTube guidelines. If you want to follow me on social media, my links are in the description. So I want to say thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to catch you on the next one.